Welcome graders! Today what we're going to do is we're going to start drafting our opinion letters that we planned yesterday. So we thought about what a good opinion letter that we believe in would be. And so today what we're going to do is we're going to think about how we can make a good lead for our opinion letter. Now remember, we've already talked about the parts of a letter. So there's a couple of different parts that we need to have in our opinion letter. The first are the date, then we have our greeting, then we're going to have the information that is our opinion letter, and we're going to go over how best to write a lead today. But at the end of our opinion letter, we're also going to need a signature. So it's really important, friends, think about how you can set up your opinion letter so that it is, one, addressed to somebody so you can convince them of your opinion, and two, that it has all the parts of the letter so it shows the person that you're writing to them. So we're going to go over a couple things before we get started today. Today we have already thought about what we're going to write for our opinion, and we've already thought about planning it out. Yesterday I showed you a touch and tell. Today we're going to write our opinion, and we're going to start to give some reasons. So that's what we're going to focus on today. You're going to notice we do have a checklist today. So remember, our blue checklists are our structure checklists. So they help us think, does our writing have all of these parts? So today we're going to think about our lead. When we write a good introduction, that means we're writing a beginning that names my opinion and starts to convince your reader of your opinion. So you can see the picture says, I think, or maybe you'll agree. What this could look like is, I think, you'll agree, have you ever, blank is the best, do you like, did you know, I didn't like, blank is the worst, or I feel strongly about. So an example of what this sounds like is, do you like reading stories from other cultures? Notice, do you like? It's asking the reader a question. It's getting them ready to hear your opinion. Well, if you do, you should read Storm Boy. Storm Boy is so exciting. So there's their opinion. Their opinion is that Storm Boy is an exciting book. So let's think, how can we get started today? I have my piece of paper that I'm going to write on, and I'm going to use a pen today. The reason I'm going to do that is so you can really see my writing when I write on this lined paper, and I would encourage you to use a pencil for your draft. So let's think. The first part of an opinion letter is writing the date. So I need to think, what is today's date? So when I wrote this, it was October. So I'm going to write October 16th. Then I'm going to put a comma after the day, and I'm going to write the year. The reason, friends, this is really important is because letters used to go in the mail all the time. And so what would happen is they would have to send the mail, and people would bring the mail, the post carriers would bring the mail on horseback. So it took a long time for letters to get to somebody. And that's where it came from. But now we write letters. If you're writing a letter and then sending it in the mail, that way people know when you sent the letter. Now I need to think about my greeting. There are lots of ways I can write a greeting. I could write dear, I could write good morning, or But who are you writing to? So when you're writing a letter, you write a greeting to show who you're writing to. So I'm going to write dear. And notice, friends, when I write, I'm going to actually take up 2 of these lines just to make sure my letters are getting created correctly. So notice, friends, I'm using 1 line as my top line, 1 as my midline, and 1 as my bottom line, okay? I'm going to think I'm writing about autumn. So who do I want to convince that autumn is the best season? I want to convince my brother. So I'm going to write my brother's name. And remember, names have a capital letter at the beginning. Notice, friends, it is taking me a little bit of time because I'm really trying to make sure my letters match. I don't have capital letters all over the place. I'm using my lowercase letters for most of my letters. The signature is always going to start with a capital letter, and it ends after the name with a comma. So think about how are you going to use your greeting today. Now, when I think about my introduction, I'm going to think, which one of these can I use to convince my brother? I think autumn is the best season. You'll agree. Well, I didn't even say my opinion yet. Have you ever, blank is the best. Do you like hot chocolate and snuggling under a blanket? Ooh, I like that one. Okay, I'm gonna write, do you like do you like hot chocolate and snuggling under a blanket? So friends, as I'm writing my introduction, I'm thinking, what do I think would convince them? What do I think that they would be like, ooh, yeah, I like that. Snuggling under a blanket. Now I need to write my opinion. So I'm going to use this sentence. Autumn is the best season. Okay, to do autumn is the best season. Maybe I'll add an ever. Best season ever. So I'm thinking, do I have my opinion? And is it writing a beginning that names my opinion? So I have my opinion here. And then am I starting to convince my opinion? I said, do you like hot chocolate and snuggling under a blanket? So that's kind of some reasons. I could add in other things for my introduction, but remember, friends, you're trying to kind of get your reader to think, oh, maybe my opinion should be their opinion. So as you're writing, I want you to think, what would your opinion introduction letter look like? See you next time.